Coming up on today's Philadelphia 76ers now, are there reasons to be concerned about James Harden's Achilles injury? He said he's been dealing with that injury over the last couple of months. And after last night's Sixers win over the Dallas Mavericks, you saw Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic at center court. Does Luka want to play with the process? First, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Some bragging rights going on here at the Chat Sports Studios, and we're going up against some rival teams, and New York Knicks now and Boston Celtics today. Subscribers picked up this week. Knicks now leading the charge with 118, Celtics today with 116, and we're in third place right now with 105. That can all change if you subscribe, and if you're coming across the show for the first time, this is Sixers Now. I am Chase Sr., and we give you Sixers content year-round. So the Wells Fargo Center was jumping last night in South Philadelphia as the Sixers were able to mount a comeback against the Dallas Mavericks, picking up a really important win after somewhat of a frustrating weekend with losses on Friday to the Golden State Warriors and then a loss to the Phoenix Suns. They come back against Dallas, final score 115-108. Joel Embiid really good in this game on both ends of the floor, making a couple of game-changing plays on the defensive end. Most notably, he finished with 25, 9, and 4. Tyrese Maxey was cooking from beyond the arc. He's able to chip in with 22 points. James Harden with 15. And then on the other side, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, really good. You had a good quality game from Tim Hardaway Jr., but once again, the Mavericks squandering a big advantage, and because their defense is so awful, that paved open an opportunity for the Sixers to come back and end that little bit of a losing streak. And chat stats part of the segment here, it is the fastest that the Sixers team has gotten to 50 wins in a season since the 2001 team. They made it to the NBA Finals before losing to the Los Angeles Lakers. That was the year in which Allen Iverson won MVP. Does that mean that the Sixers finally going to get over that second-round hurdle? We certainly hope so. This is a quality comeback against a desperate Mavericks team that is really fighting for their playoff lives. Currently, they are on the outside looking in of the Western Conference playoff picture and not even in the Western Conference play-in tournament if the season were to end. They lost 3 consecutive games or a couple of games against the Charlotte Hornets. They haven't been able to find their footing. Defensively, they've been awful, as I've talked about. Ever since the trade of Kyrie Irving, are you shocked? This is a team that hasn't had the mental wherewithal to close games out and play consistent basketball. So if you're stoked about this win, I want you to type 76 on my Philly Bulls down in the comment section. We want to hear from you. Certainly appreciate that. And with that, a lot to get to on today's show, so let's waste no time. Concerning James Harden update, he said the Achilles injury that kept him out on that West Coast swing has been lingering for months. Here's the direct quote from the Beard, who's been playing all-star basketball this year. Got to give him credit for really transforming his game as he's put more tread onto the tires and entered the final couple of holes of his NBA career, but still playing really well, if we want to use a golf course analogy there. I don't know where it came from. It's been bothering me for some months, I would say. I just wanted to continue to play on it, and there was one point where the last game I played, it was really unbearable. That was the loss in which he was awful against the Chicago Bulls, by the way, so I couldn't even go out there. 6 games left to finish the season off, finished off strong. Then we get another week to prepare. I felt like tonight that was the game to come back. And James Harden certainly struggled early, but then ended up playing a pretty good basketball game. And let's investigate this, right? So if James Harden has said that this injury has affected him over the last couple of months, let's take the last couple of months, right? Let's start February 1st all the way up until last night. And then you look at the start of the season from October 18th to January 30th. How do the numbers match up here? Well, points per game, almost even. Assists per game, almost even. Rebounds per game, just off. Field goal percentage. This is where you start to maybe see some impact on that Achilles. It's gone down a little bit more than 2 percentage points. And then the three-point numbers down from 38.6 to still a very respectable 37.9. Still up there with some of the best numbers from downtown from long range in James Harden's career. So I guess it's a good thing that maybe this Achilles injury isn't affecting him all that much as a basketball player, because still the minutes have certainly been up there, and the numbers right on par with the start of the season. So are you concerned about this update on James Harden? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm a little bit concerned just because I'm always fearful of a torn Achilles. Y for yes or N for no. Lastly, let's round out today's show with some juicy buzz here. Does Luka Doncic want to play with Joel Embiid? After the Mavericks went down, here they are at center court embracing one another. Obviously, two great players who have a lot of respect for each other's games. They dapped up. They hugged. They were laughing. And can you imagine what it would be like for Luka to play with Joel Embiid? I've been trying to think about what the perfect player is next to Luka Doncic. I understand that Kristaps Porzingis didn't work out. They still played solid basketball, right? He really misses Jalen Brunson. That's why last year they made it to the Western Conference Finals. This year they're in danger of not making it to the playoffs, but let's be real here. Joel Embiid is not Kristaps Porzingis. As for what Luka Doncic said to Joel Embiid, here's the buzz on the streets here of what Luka said to JoJo. Joel, you're an amazing player. Please tell Daryl Morey to come get me out of Dallas and let's chase championships in Philly. I've been looking for a dominant co-star, and Kyrie Irving is too flaky. He was talking about the earth being flat or something. Mark Cuban is more focused on Shark Tank than the Mavericks and running this organization. Let's team up. Now, I read the lips of Luka Doncic, and that's what I came up with, right? About what he said to Joel Embiid. Look, I'm kidding, right? That's not what Luka Doncic said to Joel Embiid. But is that what's going through his mind here? Because at some point, Luka has to get frustrated, right, with the current situation with the Dallas Mavericks. This is a team that has failed to surround him with that necessary cohort and that co-star. They thought it was going to be Jalen Brunson. They didn't sign him to a long-term contract. They disrespected him with that contract offer. And then Jalen Brunson, as it was rumored for a really long time, was going to go to the New York Knicks. He spurned Dallas and signed with the New York Knicks. And now Luka is left once again without that co-star. Luka is plenty good enough to put a team on his back, but he needs some help. And he even said the other day, usually I'm a guy who's smiling on the basketball court. I'm having a good time playing, but things on the court and off the court haven't been the same recently, and I've become really frustrated. But can you imagine Luka playing with Joel Embiid? How could you get frustrated? And the start of Luka's career has been absolutely sensational. The production with points per game, rebounds, and assists, how far he's taken his team into the playoffs, him putting the team on his back has been eerily similar to how LeBron James started his career. And Trace, if we can go back to those numbers, it's just overall stupid and astounding what Luka's been able to do. He's an all-around stud and a top 5 player in this league, and a two-man game of Luka and Joel Embiid, it'd be dominant potentially. Now, I would worry a little bit about how ball-centric Luka is, and I think that's part of the reason why that chemistry with Kyrie Irving hasn't necessarily come to fruition, because both of them like to have the ball in their hands. But Joel Embiid, too, doesn't always need the rock in his hands, and he could use an easier burden on himself. Luka, last 4 years, 2019, 2020, 29, 9, 9, 46% from the deck. Following year, nearly 28, 8, 8.5, nearly 48% from the floor. Last year, 28, 9, nearly 9, and nearly 46% from the floor. And this year, highest production in terms of points per game in his career. But he probably doesn't like that because it's not resulting in a lot of victories on the floor for Dallas. I cannot believe they're in danger of not making it into the playoffs. And right now, Dallas is dysfunctional. Kyrie Irving was asked after the Sixers lost, what's going on? He basically said, yeah, it's a little bit of a shit show right now. He did not expect Kyrie for the Mavs to be battling to be in the play-in tournament and on the outside looking in of the play-in tournament. We're not talking about the NBA playoffs here. We're talking about the play-in tournament to get into the playoffs. Jason Kidd has kind of lost his way. Last year, Dallas was very good defensively. This year, they're awful defensively. And Kyrie Irving, by the way, is going to be a free agent after this year. So did they give all that up for Kyrie only to lose him in free agency? And then we're back to that question, who's going to team up with Luka Doncic? Daryl Morey, go get him. Your one-word reaction to a Luka Embiid pairing. Would it work out? Would it not? Let me know. Share your thoughts. We appreciate you for watching the show, and don't forget to subscribe.